Welcome to the first Swimping review. I've had this channel for, what was it, a year and a half now, or something like that. And this is actually what I originally intended this for. Things happened in between, and now we're here. This episode's brought to you by Swimpy himself. Yes, the channel is named after him. He's off screen. He's the owner of the channel, actually. I'm just the host. Swimpy is a long-haired male Syrian hamster, for your information, and he's busy right now. He's over there. So pardon him if you hear a bang or a boom in the background. I can't really do anything about it. He runs the channel, so sorry. Today we're going to be reviewing Swimpy's favorite albums of the week. And we're gonna go over some albums, some CDs that Swimpy has specifically requested that we talk about. We're going to be starting off with one of the, I would say, underappreciated in at least some degree. I don't know if I should say that. I mean, it gets a decent amount of praise. Pink Floyd album, Echoes. No, Meddle. Echoes is the long song on it. And this album, which was released in 1971 by the band thing, Pink Floyd. They released this at a trivial time in their career, and you can tell, but in the best way possible. Transitional period for them, especially looking back in their discography. Now, this album is not the most coherent, solid album. It's not like it's all thought out in one long or cohesive thing, like maybe Dark Side of the Moon is, or The Wall, or whatever. But that's not what this album's about. This album is an experiment, meddling around with stuff. I didn't realize that when I was listening to this for the first time. I'm not really sure about when Swimpy heard about this, but he's not hosting this, so I get to tell my story. Sorry. When I was a little baby thing, pooping in my diaper, and I heard this album, I thought that Meddle was, the metal. I don't have any metal around me. That's not really metal, but anyways, besides the point. That doesn't mean that there isn't metal elements, dare I say, in this album, despite it being a different spelling of that word. For instance, track 1, One of These Days, a track that I have had echoing in my mind ever since I heard it when I was just a little thing. Just checking on Squimster over there. It's this incredibly unique track of just this swelling buildup with this just very distinctive bass tone that just swells with these wind-like sound effects that swirl and build until it reaches a climax with this vocal sample, I believe. I don't really know who it is, or if it's the band doing it, or if it is some sort of sample. Whatever it is, it's genuinely convincing and somewhat terrifying, even to me now as an adult, of him screaming, "One of these days I'm gonna tear you into little pieces." Just like that. It's terrifying, right? And then it goes into this just insane, very hard rock explosion, if you will, that again, while isn't actually really metal at all, it does at least point into that direction, and I find that as a great early example of just let loose hard rock in the most raw way possible, especially for Pink Floyd. This album goes immediately from that to Pillow of Winds, which is a complete contrast to that, which I'm sure was intentional. And it has these slide guitars and these soft vocals from Richard Wright and David Gilmour that their timbre together as vocalists is just probably one of my favorite unique qualities of the band that was unfortunately had disappeared later on in their discography. That's a great example of a track that does that, along with Fearless. It has some pretty funny, ironic, if you will, lyrics that really play on a clueless, fearless idiot. And the last that I would like to mention, there are two small tracks after that play around some honky tonk and sample-based passages, but really the most notable thing after that is, of course, Echoes, which I alluded to earlier. And this thing is a monster. It really gave way to the sound that Pink Floyd is immediately known for. When you think of them now, long tracks that go into multiple sections and essentially movements, if you will. I would like to refer to them as that because essentially they're just in a context of rock music, not classical. This is something that I enjoy very much in music, modern rock music and pop music, that I think should be explored even more. I think another great example of that, which was probably influenced by this track, is Sufjan Stevens' Impossible Soul, which, by the way, didn't plan this, but I'm wearing that shirt. Another great record. Multiple sections, 25-minute long track, 5 movements that are very intentionally divided into 5 movements. This is the same idea, of course. I believe, if I were to recall it in my mind, there is distinctly 4 major sections in this track that all serve as a unique turning point for it. The beginning is very eerie and very it's this dark quality, this dark color. It's a great way to introduce such a monster of a track like this. The second part of this track, it's probably my favorite. It's one of my favorite passages in all of Pink Floyd's discography. It's this super groovy, almost funky section that just is filled with these spurring, shrieking guitar licks and just noisy screams that come from the guitar over and over and over again, but it's filled with such contrasting, groovy, smooth, buttery instrumentation from the drums, the bass, and of course the drums. I mean, the guitar as well. It's amazing, and of course it then swaps to a extremely terrifying, at least for when I was a baby thing, terrifying section of, from what I gathered and from what I remember from seeing their live performance of them doing this track in Pompeii. It's like swelling guitar pitches that are just messed around with that make it sound like eerie, banshee-like screams that just give the scope of like a desolate graveyard in the best way possible. I don't think I can point out another track in my head right now that captures that scene as much as that section of Echoes does. And of course it brings it all together at the end and swells into one gargantuan final finish that kind of combines a lot of the earlier sections into one. It's great. It's a record of its own in a way, and from what I believe that takes up an entire side of the LP. Very long. I believe it's about 17 minutes long. So that is recommendation of the week. Pink Floyd, meddling around Meddle. Squimpy enjoyed this. Obviously I do too. It's a personal favorite. Yeah. Next week, me and Squimpy are going to be talking about why Tyson popcorn chicken is better than McDonald's chicken nuggets. Sure. I hope that review would suffice. I hope that cater to your very high expectations. Please give me a raise when you can. I could really use that.